Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lonely Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Ariane, and today we're interviewing a lovely artist who I just recently met and someone whose work I just also recently started reading. And her name is Elssie. She is a 23-year-old who majored in pedagogical sciences but works as a freelance illustrator. She's been drawing since she was little, so she's been through many different art phases. But only a year ago did she start having an interest in webtoons and comics, being Red Vessel the first story she's ever written. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Elssie. It's a pleasure to have you here. I've been following you not for a very long time, actually, but the small time that I've been following you, I've been really enjoying your work and your comic as well. And that's why I invited you here on the podcast today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I want to jump straight into the questions because I'm very curious to learn a lot more about you. So why don't you tell us how your art journey began?
Well, it began a long time ago, since I was really young. I really don't remember how or exactly when. But art has always been part of my life. My dad was always there for me, teaching me how to draw, how to paint. He made like a little like sketchbook where I could draw my doodles when I was like 2 years old. I still have it. It's at my mom's house, so I sometimes I like to take a look at it, and I kind of still remember some like little like memories, like really like flashes about that time, and it's incredible that I do.
Wow.
And it's yeah, I have like a big memory. It's really weird.
That's so cool.
And and yeah, that's that. I don't know exactly how or when, but it's something like that. Like it's always been part of my life.
That's really cool. And also that your mom kept your drawings because like I don't think my mom ever kept my drawings from when I was a kid, and I wish I had them, but I don't. So that's pretty cool that you can still look at them and like see the progress from when you began.
She's a bit weird, because she was really against for me to become an artist, but she still kept all my drawings. She's a weird person, really weird.
Maybe it reminds her of you as a kid more than the art itself, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So when you started your art journey, then how many of us start since childhood, but then when did you start getting interested in the world of comics or web comics?
Well, that happened last year.
Okay.
Actually, it's really recent. I have a friend that actually introduced me to webtoon. She told me, "Hey, look, you can read comics here, and also if you like feel like it, you can like create your own webtoon and publish it here." And I was like, I was really surprised about that. And it kind of, we started a webtoon together. She was like the writer, and we were like co-creators, but she was the script writer and I did the art. It didn't work well, but it was like a fun experience, like our first project together. We've been friends for like a long time. And this was fun, and it was like my first webtoon. I like getting to know the community, how the how webtoon works in general. So we created a project together. We created a webtoon. The name is Cruzales Academy. It's in Canvas there, but it's like on indefinite hiatus. So we learned a lot with that webtoon, and I myself learned like a lot, what to do, what not to do. And we decided to stop it because we can't work together.
Oh,
We're
no.
good friends, but we can't work together. Like,
Oh, that's terrible.
a nightmare. But she's awesome. I love her, but it's impossible.
It's hard to work with somebody. I feel like a lot of artists work better alone, and it's kind of hard to learn how to work with somebody else.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And we have like similar personalities too, so we can kind of like uh we're like,
You
how to say
clash?
this? Yeah, we clash.
Okay, yeah,
We
I get
clash.
that. So, but like,
So
oh, sorry, go ahead.
uh, ask me. It's okay.
I was gonna ask you, like, were you interested in comics in general before you learned about webtoons, or were you not the type of person to read many comics growing up?
No, no, not at all. I've
Oh,
like
okay.
never ever read comic books. No. This started like when she told me about comics. I started with webtoons, and then I started with regular comic books, and I just fell in love with all of it.
That's so
Uh,
cool. So now you're interested in it like full on.
yeah, yeah. This is my life, literally. Like I don't know how I didn't like find this before. Like this is amazing. All this word is I love
Well,
it.
I'm really glad that you did, because that's how we were able to also meet each other, and that's how we're able to do this today, and just that's how you're able to share your work with everybody. And that's a perfect
Yes.
segue, because I want to know how you came up with the idea behind your current webtoon, your webtoon canvas called Red Vessel.
Well, that is a crazy story. I was after my friend and I decided to stop the webtoon. I wanted to create one of myself because I wanted to keep doing this,
Mhm.
and I didn't know what to do. Actually, I was like, it was hell, literally, because I was like, I want to do so. I want to create another webtoon, but I have literally no idea of the story or the genre or the style of the drawing, and I kind of like try to write a couple of things, but none of it like convinced me.
Mhm.
And one day, like I don't know, like 3 months after I decided to create another webtoon, I was watching a movie about I'm not going to say the movie because I don't want people to hate me.
Oh, okay.
And this movie has some kind of theory. Like the movie is based on a theory that I will not say about what because it's a spoiler. So
All right.
uh, on a theory that, in my opinion, wasn't well conceptualized. Like uh, I kind of found some gaps there,
Mhm.
and I was like thinking a way to improve that theory, like to make it like it could work, you know.
Mhm.
And that's how the idea of Red Vessel came to my mind.
Wow.
Like, oh my god, this is like a good thing. And
That's why
I
you have
talked
to
to my
watch a lot of
husband.
movies. Maybe you'll get an idea
Yeah,
from one.
yeah. And then I talked to my husband, and he was like really excited. He helped me like organize all these ideas I had,
Mhm.
and that's how I started to write Red Vessel as a novel on Wattpad. Yeah, it's on
Oh,
Wattpad. Yeah,
so it was a
it kind
novel
of,
originally.
yeah, yeah. It okay. It was like novel to organize everything. I used it
Mhm.
to organize it. It was always meant to be a
Oh, okay.
but it has mutated a lot. It's not the original concept. I think it's normal for a story to mutate as time goes because
Mhm.
that's like normal. You start to find the gaps that you created yourself, and you have to figure it out a way to fix it.
Yeah, and I
So
also imagine that turning a novel into a comic, like there's probably a shift there too as well, where you have to adapt some things.
yeah, definitely. It's hard because right now I'm dealing with readers that don't understand, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so complicated. I like thinking to myself like, why didn't I like make this easier for them to understand? Because in the novel it's like way more explained and everything, and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Well, to be
It's
honest, for it to be your second comic, I feel like it's you doing a really good job. I've seen people who've done more comics that their stories are more convoluted, or like that they really, really don't make sense. But with yours, I just feel like you have to really pay a lot of attention and try and read the comic slowly. Maybe some people are always like trying to read comics like, I don't know, really
Yeah,
fast.
fast reading. Yeah, that's probably it. They are always lost. They leave it in the comment. They're like, I'm lost. I don't understand the
Oh
thing. I'm like,
no.
why?
I'm sure people will start understanding things as they continue to read. And if they don't, why don't they just go back to it? Like you can always reread things, right? If you're a bit lost, I
Yeah.
feel like not a lot of people have the habit of trying to comprehend what they're reading.
Yeah, mostly I think it's because like as far like I've read a lot of webtoons, and I realized that many are just how to say this, like it's not too driven into the plot, like it's like a light reading, like most of it.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
I wanted to create something like world driven and character driven. I didn't pick one. I'm dumb. I should have done that. I should have picked one. But yeah, I complicated my life a little. I like, yeah.
But are you enjoying the process regardless of it
Yeah,
being
yeah,
complicated? That's what's most
yeah,
important
definitely,
at the end of the day.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, I'm
So
enjoying it.
what would you say is the most valuable lesson that you've learned from making, a webcomic now?
Well, first of all, I think it's patience.
Mhm.
Many artists, many canvas artists specifically, like deal with this um, like I don't get noticed, I don't get subscribers, I don't get views, and you have to be patient. You have to like really do some networking to advertise your work. And speaking of the drawing and the art process, I think you need consistency. Like if you're not consistent, you are going to get burned out. What I mean by this, I know a lot of artists like have to deal with burnouts and that kind of thing, but I believe like if you create a schedule, if you like um, have some discipline, you eventually stop having those burned out, and everything goes smoothly. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of an advice kind of thing.
Oh, actually, like that's totally up my alley because I feel like you're talking about structuring your sort of your plan, your idea a little bit better. And I love when you have like schedules and you have like a general idea of like the step by step that you have to do in order to keep the consistency of your updates and everything. So
Exactly.
I
I
think
don't do
that's
I
really
don't
good.
do week updates. I don't do weekly updates. I do like 15 every 15 days, or every 10 days.
Okay.
But it's kind of like that. Never more, never less, but uh like that, because I have to deal with my day job, but it's a freelance illustrator day job.
Okay.
And things and just regular things in the house.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
mean,
kind of organize my job.
I feel like a lot of people think that they have to upload every single week, but depending on what you're doing and your story and your situation, as long as like even if you just posted once a month, if you never stop posting once a month, people know what to expect.
Exactly, yeah.
So, how does the process for creating comics look like for you? What's your plan? What's your favorite part of the process? Like, do you have a script that you follow, a schedule? How does that look for you?
Okay, I do the scripts every time I'm going to start a new episode. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not planned. I know like this the storyline, like everything that is going to happen, like the key points, but I create the script when I'm going to draw the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have the novel there, so I can like read it and see if I want to change something, like some kind of support. But it's it has changed so much that it's just for reference for something, names, or uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, some character that is there that I forgot or something.
So you
And
already
then
know
after
like
this,
the end of the story?
oh yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
nice.
I know everything. Yeah,
Cool.
I've planned like four seasons. Yeah, 4 seasons.
Oh, wow. It's a long, long story.
Yeah. So after the script, I sketch all the episode, and my favorite part is line art. I
Oh,
love
mine
line
too.
art. Oh, really? Oh
Mine
my God, I've
too.
seen a lot of people that hate it. I don't understand why. I hate
My
flats.
I hate flats, but also coloring, like rendering, that's like the worst part of it all for me. I only like doing the line art.
Line art is amazing. It's so like, um, I don't know, like calming. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
know.
therapy.
It's therapy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm so happy you said that because like I know a lot of people do hate it, but I love it.
I really don't understand why. It's so peaceful.
Right?
But yeah, it's so sketching the whole strip. Then I do draw each panel individually. Like I don't draw on the comic strip and on the webtoon strip.
Mhm.
Like I open a new file and draw there, and then I just copy and paste it on the weird on the strip.
I mean, everybody has their own process, right?
Yeah, but I think it's kind of slowing me down, so I have to learn to do it like on the street. But
Yeah,
it takes time to do something different of what you're used to. So
of course. Yeah.
probably it'll take me time to change my ways.
And do you add like the lettering and the bubble, like the speech bubbles at the end, or do you do that as well when you're
At the end.
sketching
No,
at
no,
the
no.
end?
At the end. Yeah, at the end.
Gotcha.
Because as I've said, like it mutates like a lot. Like I have a script, and then I start drawing the panels, and I start thinking like, why did I write this here? No, I don't like this here. Let's do this instead. So after I finish all panels, all the strip, everything with all the onomatopoeias, everything, then I like rewrite that script that I had and do the balloons, the speech bubbles and everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that sounds like I would love to be able to have that kind of flexibility and mutate my creative process as I go. But whenever I've tried to do that, like I just make a mess of all of my ideas in my head. So I can't. But it's really cool that you can do it. I also wanted to ask you, you have one of the things that caught my attention when I started reading your comic and why I decided to start reading your comic is that you have a very different art style from what's usual in webtoons. It usually is a lot of like manga style type things, but your style is quite different. And I wanted to ask you how you came up with that style. Was it something that you did on purpose, or was it something that kind of just developed with your time drawing since you were a kid?
No, this was on purpose. I actually don't have like a fixed style for regular illustrations, but
Mhm.
I did want to create one for the webtoon. And I couldn't find one. Like I struggled a lot to create one, and I did know that I wanted to draw something like not like how to say, not rounded, like edgy, something edgy. Like, do you understand me? Like the shape, like edgy.
Yeah.
I that's the only thing I knew that I knew I wanted. But it wasn't until I happened to came the idea of what I wanted to create with the movie, the day of
Mhm.
the movie, that the style kind of popped out in my head, like what I wanted. Because like I believe that the art style has to be like in accordance to say
Mhm.
somehow, like with the story. Like if it's something like romance or something like that, like something chummy and rounded, like the style has to like speak for the story too.
Yeah.
So if it's crime and mystery and fantasy with some slight gore things. Like, I think it should be something edgy, not
Yeah.
something rounded. So it was like a process, but yeah, it was on purpose.
And do you find that as you keep drawing it, that the art kind of is also changing, even though you have your idea of what you want it to look like?
Yeah, it has changed a lot. Like, I've compared the first episode with the last episode, and like what happened here? What is exactly happened here?
I feel
Yeah,
you. That happens to me too.
yeah, it happens to everyone, I guess. If art improves, like, the drawing changes even if you don't want it.
True. I mean, it makes sense, but it's also kind of shocking when you look back on your work because you don't
Yeah,
really notice it until you look back.
exactly. You don't really notice it. Like, it's really weird.
So, I mean, you say you don't have like a fixed art style, but do you have any kind of big art inspirations that have nourished your art and inspired you to draw?
Mm, like, inspiration, like other artists, like webcomic artists, or general artists?
It can be webcomic artists, it could be general artists, anybody who you look up to that inspired your, like inspires you and that influences your work.
Well, I guess Pernilorum. Do you know who she is?
Yeah.
She's yeah, well, she's amazing. I love her work. Also Loish. I love Loish. Like, her work
Everybody
is
loves
so, like,
Loish. Everybody loves her.
it's so beautiful. How can you not love it? Like, you
I don't
must
think
love it.
I don't think I've ever met one person who hasn't mentioned her or who doesn't love her. Everybody does.
Amazing. Like, the colors, those she uses, like, pink and blue and purple a lot like in combination. So beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah, it's true.
So also Ross, um Sam does art in Instagram. It's the name
Mhm.
Sam.
Yeah, I actually
uh,
know all of them.
and in webcomics, I guess, well, Snail Lords, because I just love his art style, and the stories, the way of he, like, tells the story.
Mhm.
um Sophie, uh also, what is her name? The Hermit. It's in the name for her Instagram. It's the mid the in the Bleak Midwinter artist. Like, I love her art style.
Mhm.
Um, who else? Oh, yes. And I love this webtoon, and I love the art style, and it's like a huge inspiration, like really a huge inspiration. Um, this Stray Souls artist.
All
I
right.
love, yeah, I love that webtoon, and the art style is beautiful. The art is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. The story, everything. Like, I love it. So I think it's pretty much it.
Cool. And we're going to share everybody's handle in the description so that if anybody wants to click on the names, they can go follow them and check out their work. So,
Okay, perfect.
oh, also, I wanted to ask you because this is a place of support, as I told you when we started talking, and always like to invite people to follow smaller art accounts. I wanted to ask you if you love and follow anybody who you think deserves more attention.
Well, I actually have two friends that really, really, really deserve more attention. Not just their Instagram account, like the webtoon they are creating is really good, and one is creating two webtoons, and like, they really deserve more attention. One is a Mr. Dog in Instagram. Like, their work is amazing. Both their stories is amazing, And the other one is Devilish Comics. That also the story is amazing, and it's in the sixth episode yet. I think six or seven episode,
Mhm.
but it's going on a good, really good way, and the story is really, really good. Like I have spoiled myself. Like she tells me like what is going to happen, so
Oh, that's so
I know it's
cool.
going to be good. I know it's going to be really, really good.
You have the
And
inside scoop.
yeah. So yeah, basically those two, like they have like a really good job. They're doing a really good job with their webtoons, and their art and on Instagram is really good, and it deserves more attention.
Awesome. That's really cool that you have friends that you also admire and that you can talk to, and that they are also working on the same things that you are working on. What are your expectations for the future regarding your work or your social media presence?
Well, I don't really know. I'm not sure. I do know that I just want to keep working in this, and I do expect for Red Vessel to grow more and to have
Mhm.
more audience and more people to read it, because like it really makes my day when I see new subscribers or comments on, or just someone that shared or said something about it that is good or something, and really makes my day. That's basically, I'm like really simple on that. Like I just want it to grow more. I just want for more people to to find it. I guess that I really don't have like big expectations. Like I just want my comic to like for more people to find it, for more people to read it, and like it really makes my day when someone tells me like I read your webtoon and I loved it. I just wanted to keep like that forever, and people just reading it.
Oh.
Yeah, and I don't know, just basically that, and just audience to keep growing. I just like don't have like huge expectations, because I just how to say this, like I don't want to get disappointed if what I want doesn't come true. So I just go step by step.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like everyone wants to be an original, but there are just so many canvases that's like the probabilities for that to happen are really low. So I just don't have that huge expectations. I just try to work as hard as I can, and let's see how this works out.
Well, you never know. And also, I think that regardless of it becoming an original or not, I'm sure it'll keep growing. And that's why I'm interviewing you, because I also want it to grow. I want more people to check it out, and I want to promote it because I feel like it deserves the attention. So you'll see that even if you don't have any expectations, it'll continue to grow and people will continue to appreciate it.
I hope so. That's really what I want, just for more people to find it. And thank you.
So finally, we've arrived at the last question of the podcast, the favorite question. And that is, if you could have any magical art power to help you in your artistic process, what would you like it to be?
I would like to be the Flash. Yeah, just super speed. Yeah, to do everything like in just 1 hour.
Oh,
Have
wow.
everything ready. Yeah. Yeah, the Flash. I don't know if the computer can keep up with that speed, but I don't know. Let's try.
That would be great. But imagine if you got that power to do everything super fast, and then because you're so fast, your computer would be continuously crashing on you.
Probably.
You would need to be like super fast and have a super fast computer as well.
Oh damn, it crashed. That's
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that amazing power.
oh yeah, it could be nice.
Yeah, it could be very nice. And with that, we've completed the interview. It was a delight. Thank you so much for answering all of those questions, for telling us a little bit more about you, and for sharing your work, because it's really beautiful work. And I really hope that everybody who's listening to this goes and checks it out.
Thank you for having me. Like, this was like my first interview. This was a really good experience. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you for the next one.